than just paper and metal. It is a system of trust and a tool for exchange that powers our world. Coins, in particular, hold a special place in this system. They are the most basic units of our economy, the small change that facilitates the countless minor transactions making up our daily lives. From buying a single sweet to paying for a bus fare, coins are the workhorses of commerce. Their weight in our hands provides a tangible sense of value, a physical connection to the vast and often abstract world of finance. They represent the starting point of wealth, the foundation upon which larger sums are built, and their history often tells a deeper story about a nation's journey. The importance of small denomination coins is especially pronounced in developing economies. For a significant portion of the population, these coins are not just trivial pocket change. They are the primary medium of exchange. In places where daily wages are low, the ability to transact in small increments is essential for survival. A single coin can mean the difference between having a meal or going without. It allows for the purchase of small quantities of food, such as a handful of vegetables or a single egg. This microeconomy, built on the foundation of the smallest coins, is a vibrant and critical part of life for millions of people around the globe. Furthermore, the design and composition of coins serve as a historical record. The images stamped onto their surfaces, portraits of leaders, national symbols, and depictions of wildlife, are a declaration of sovereignty and national identity. They are miniature monuments that circulate among the entire population, constantly reinforcing a shared heritage and a collective story. The metals they are made from can reflect the economic conditions of the time, with shifts from precious metals to cheaper alloys, often signaling periods of economic strain or changing industrial capabilities. Following the journey of a country's smallest coins is like reading its history in a unique and intimate way. In Kenya, the story of its small coins is a rich tapestry that weaves together threads of pre-colonial trade, British imperial rule, post-independence pride, and modern economic challenges. The evolution of the Kenyan penny, from cowrie shells and foreign rupees to the modern shilling coin, mirrors the nation's own transformation. Each change in the currency reflects a pivotal moment in the country's political and social landscape. Understanding this history is not just an exercise for collectors. It is a way to appreciate the economic realities and the enduring spirit of the Kenyan people, for whom this small change has always been a big deal. Long before the concept of standardized, government-issued coins reached the lands that now form Kenya, commerce thrived through complex systems of barter and commodity money. In the interior, among diverse communities like the Kikuyu, Maasai, and Luo, value was determined by utility and social significance. Livestock, particularly cattle, goats, and sheep, served as the ultimate measure of wealth. A person standing in the community could be judged by the size of their herd. Major transactions, such as the payment of a bride price or the settlement of a dispute, were almost always conducted using live animals. This system was practical and deeply embedded in the cultural fabric of these societies. On a smaller scale, for everyday exchanges, people relied on agricultural products. Grains like sorghum and millet, as well as beans and other vegetables, were commonly traded based on agreed-upon measures. A basket of maize might be exchanged for a clay pot, or a certain quantity of tobacco could be traded for iron tools like spearheads or hoes. This form of direct trade required a double coincidence of wants, meaning both parties had to desire what the other possessed. While seemingly inefficient, these barter systems were sustained by strong community relationships and established customs of valuation that had been passed down through generations, ensuring a level of fairness and predictability in trade. Along the Swahili coast, a different form of currency took hold due to centuries of trade with the Arabian Peninsula, Persia, and India. Here, the cowrie shell, sourced from the Maldive Islands in the Indian Ocean, became a widely accepted form of money. Their small size, durability, and uniformity made them ideal for commerce. Thousands of shells could be strung together to facilitate larger payments. Alongside cowrie shells, colorful glass beads, often manufactured in India or Venice, also served as a form of currency and a status symbol. These items were not just mediums of exchange, but also objects of beauty, worn as adornments that displayed a person's wealth and trade connections. The use of these non-metallic forms of currency demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of value and exchange that predated any colonial intervention. These systems were perfectly adapted to the economic and social structures of the time. The value of a goat was understood by everyone, just as the value of a string of beads was established through long-standing trade practices on the coast. This was a world of tangible wealth, where money was not an abstract concept, but something you could herd, plant, or wear. It was against this backdrop that the first foreign coins began to appear, slowly introducing a new and revolutionary idea of money. The first metallic coins to circulate in the region of modern-day Kenya arrived on the dhows of traders from across the Indian Ocean. For centuries, the Swahili city-states like Mombasa and Lamu were cosmopolitan hubs, and the merchants who plied these waters brought their own currencies with them. Coins from Arabia, Persia, and various Indian sultanates mingled in the marketplaces, while some local sultans, like those in Kilwa, minted their own copper and silver coins. The most influential foreign currency to gain a foothold was the Indian rupee. Its reliability and the sheer volume of trade with the Indian subcontinent made it a de facto standard for large-scale transactions along the coast. The arrival of European powers in the 16th century introduced yet another layer of currency complexity. The Portuguese brought their own coins, but their influence was primarily coastal and eventually waned. A more significant change came with the growing influence of the Sultan of Zanzibar in the 19th century. The Sultan's authority extended over the Kenyan coast, and with it came the circulation of the silver Maria Theresa thaler, an Austrian trade coin that was incredibly popular throughout the Middle East and East Africa. Alongside it, the Sultan issued his own copper coins, denominated in pisa or pice, which served as the small change for everyday market purchases, bridging the gap between valuable silver coins and traditional barter items. The establishment of the Imperial British East Africa Company in 1888 marked the beginning of a systematic effort to create a standardized colonial currency. The company recognized the dominance of the Indian rupee and adopted it as the official currency of its territories. To facilitate smaller transactions, the company began issuing its own unique coins in 1888. These were denominated in pice, with 64 pice equaling 1 rupee. The coins, minted in copper and silver, featured the company's emblem, a radiant sun over a crown, on one side and the denomination in both English and Arabic script on the other, acknowledging the diverse linguistic landscape of the region. These early colonial coins represented a major shift. For the first time, a single centrally issued currency began to push deeper into the interior, following the path of the new railway being constructed from Mombasa to Lake Victoria. The British administration, which took over from the company in 1895 to form the East Africa Protectorate, continued to use the Indian rupee system. They introduced coins featuring the portrait of the reigning British monarch, first Queen Victoria, then King Edward VII, and finally King George V. These coins, with their foreign leader and unfamiliar script, were a powerful symbol of the new colonial order, slowly but surely displacing the diverse forms of traditional and foreign money that had defined the region's economy for centuries. After the British government assumed direct control of the territory in 1895, it formalized the currency system under the East Africa Protectorate. The Indian silver rupee remained the standard, but London began issuing a distinct set of coins specifically for its East African territories. The first of these, introduced in 1897, were large copper pice coins featuring the portrait of Queen Victoria. These were followed by smaller denominations, including a quarter and a coin. However, the system was somewhat confusing, as it was directly tied to the Indian model. To simplify things, a decimal system was introduced in 1906. The rupee was now divided into 100 cents, a structure that would influence the region's currency for decades to come. Under this new decimal system, a fresh series of coins was minted for the Protectorate. The first cents coins featured the profile of King Edward VII and were issued in denominations of 25 cents in silver, 10 cents in nickel, 1 cent and half cent, both in bronze. A notable feature of the 1 cent and half cent coins was a central hole, a design choice intended to make them easily distinguishable from other coins by touch, and to allow people to string them together for safekeeping. This practical design acknowledged that many users would not have pockets or purses. The obverse showed the king's crown and titles, while the reverse displayed the denomination surrounded by an elephant tusk on each side, a symbol of the region's natural wealth. With the ascension of King George V to the throne in 1910, the coinage was updated to bear his portrait. The designs remained largely the same, with the iconic elephant tusks and the central hole on the lower denominations. These coins, minted from bronze and cupro nickel, became the backbone of the colonial economy. They were used by African laborers to receive their wages, by farmers to sell their produce at market, and by everyone to pay the hut and poll taxes imposed by the colonial administration. The coins were a constant, tangible reminder of British authority, circulating from the bustling port of Mombasa to the newly established administrative center of Nairobi and into the rural highlands. In 1920, the currency system underwent another significant change. The East Africa Protectorate became Kenya colony, and the East African Currency Board was established to manage the currency for Kenya, Uganda, and Tanganyika. The board decided to replace the rupee-based system with one based on the British pound sterling, introducing the florin as a transitional currency. This was quickly replaced in 1921 by the East African shilling, which was divided into 100 cents. This new shilling was set at a par with the British shilling, and it would become the enduring currency of the region, laying the final piece of groundwork for the monetary system that an independent Kenya would one day inherit. On December 12, 1963, Kenya achieved its independence, marking a new era of self-governance. A key symbol of this newfound sovereignty was the creation of a national currency. The Central Bank of Kenya was established in 1966, and it promptly began the process of replacing the old East African Currency Board coins with a new series bearing the symbols of the independent nation. The first coins of the Republic of Kenya were issued in 1966, bearing the portrait of the nation's first president, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. This act was profoundly significant, replacing the image of a foreign monarch with that of an African leader who had fought for the country's freedom. It was a powerful statement of national pride and identity that every citizen could hold in their hand. The initial series included several small denominations designed for everyday transactions. The smallest were the 5 cents and 10 cents coins. Both were minted from bronze and featured the same design, the Kenyatta portrait on the obverse, and the reverse proudly displaying the Kenyan coat of arms, featuring 2 lions holding spears and a shield with a cockerel. The coat of arms was a rich tapestry of national symbolism, representing unity, defense, and a new dawn. These small coins were essential for the daily life of ordinary Kenyans, used for buying items like matches, single cigarettes, or small portions of sugar and salt from local kiosks. Known as higher-value small coins in this series included the 25 cents and 50 cents. Initially, the 50 cents coin issued in 1966 was a round, cupro nickel piece. However, to make it more easily distinguishable from the 1 shilling coin, its shape was changed in 1969 to a 7-sided or heptagonal form, a design that would become iconic for the denomination for decades. The 25 cents coin was also introduced in 1969, featuring a distinctive scalloped edge. These coins were minted from cupro nickel, a durable and cost-effective alloy. The use of different shapes and edges for different denominations was a practical design choice to help all users, including the visually impaired, identify coins by touch. These first coins of independent Kenya remained in circulation throughout the entire presidency of Jomo Kenyatta. They were a constant presence in a period of nation-building and economic development. The designs were unchanged, providing a sense of stability and continuity during the first 15 years of the Republic. The metal content, primarily bronze and cupro nickel, was standard for the era and reflected a stable economic environment. For a generation of Kenyans who grew up after independence, the image of Mzee Kenyatta on their pocket change was an inseparable part of their national identity, a daily reminder of the leader who had guided them to freedom. Following the death of President Jomo Kenyatta in 1978, Daniel Arap Moi ascended to the presidency, heralding a new chapter in Kenya's history. True to the tradition established by his predecessor, a new series of coins was commissioned to reflect this change in leadership. The first coins bearing the portrait of President Moi were issued in 1980. This transition marked the beginning of the Nyayo era, a philosophy espoused by Moi meaning footsteps in Swahili, signifying his intention to follow in the path of Kenyatta. The replacement of the presidential portrait on the currency became a powerful tool for solidifying the new president's authority and presence in the daily lives of all Kenyans. The design of the Moi-era coins largely mirrored the Kenyatta series in terms of denominations and the use of the national coat of arms on the reverse. The small coins consisted of the 5 cents and 10 cents pieces. Initially, The 10-cent coin was minted in bronze, but by the mid-1980s, a shift in materials began. Due to rising metal costs and inflationary pressures, the composition of these small coins was changed. The 5-cent coin was eventually discontinued, and the 10-cent coin was switched to a cheaper, nickel-plated steel composition. This change made the coins lighter and gave them a different feel, a subtle but significant reflection of the economic challenges the country was beginning to face. The workhorse small coins of this period were the 50 cents and the 1 shilling coin. The 50-cent coin retained its distinctive 7-sided shape, making it one of the most recognizable pieces of currency in circulation. Both it and the round 1 shilling coin were initially made of cupro-nickel. However, as the 1980s progressed into the 1990s, the Kenyan economy faced significant strain, including high inflation which eroded the value of the shilling. In response, the Central Bank of Kenya changed the composition of these coins to more affordable nickel-plated steel in 1994. This was a practical measure to reduce production costs as the intrinsic value of the metal in the older coins began to approach their face value. The Moi era also saw the introduction of higher denomination coins to replace banknotes that had lost their purchasing power. The 5 shilling coin, initially a large 7-sided cupro-nickel piece, was introduced in 1985. By 1997, a smaller bimetallic 5 shilling coin was issued, along with a new bimetallic 10 shilling coin. These coins, with their gold-colored center and silver-colored outer ring, were modern and intended to be more durable than the low-denomination banknotes they replaced. The coins of the Nyayo era tell a story of continuity in design, but significant change in substance, charting a course through a period of both political consolidation and growing economic headwinds. The election of Mwai Kibaki as president in 2002 ushered in a period of significant political and social change in Kenya. This transition was once again reflected in the nation's currency. In 2005, a new series of coins was released, featuring the portrait of President Kibaki. However, this series also brought back a familiar face. In a gesture of national unity and respect for the country's founding father, the reverse of the new coins was redesigned to feature a prominent statue of Jomo Kenyatta. This dual tribute, honoring both the current and the founding presidents, was a departure from previous designs and symbolized a desire to connect the country's present with its foundational history. The small denominations of the Kibaki era continued the trend of using cost-effective metals. The 50 cents and 1 shilling coins were minted from stainless steel, making them lightweight and durable, but also signaling the diminished purchasing power of these lower values. By this point, the 5 and 10-cent coins had long fallen out of general circulation, victims of inflation. The 50-cent coin became the smallest unit of any practical use, though even its utility was becoming limited to giving exact change in larger transactions, especially in supermarkets. The daily economy for many Kenyans now revolved around the 1, 5, and 10 shilling coins. A revolutionary change occurred with the promulgation of the new Kenyan Constitution in 2010. Article 231, Section 4 of the Constitution decreed that Kenyan currency should not bear the portrait of any individual. This was a landmark decision aimed at depoliticizing the currency and celebrating Kenya's collective heritage, rather than the image of a single leader. In response, the Central Bank of Kenya unveiled a completely new generation of coins in December 2018. This series, still in use today, features Kenya's magnificent wildlife. The 1 shilling coin depicts a giraffe, the 5 shilling a rhino, the 10 shilling a lion, and the 20 shilling an elephant. The obverse of all coins features the national coat of arms. This latest series of coins represents a modern, forward-looking Kenya. The designs are not only beautiful, but also educational, celebrating the country's status as a global leader in wildlife conservation. The coins are also designed with advanced security features and are tactilely distinct to aid the visually impaired. For example, the 1 shilling coin is nickel-plated steel, while the 5, 10, and 20 shilling coins are bimetallic, each with a different diameter and edge texture. These coins reflect a nation that is embracing its rich natural heritage as a unifying symbol, moving away from the political iconography of the past and into a new era of collective identity, a story that continues to unfold with every transaction. For a vast number of Kenyans, particularly those living in urban informal settlements like Nairobi's Mathare or Kibera, or in rural villages, small coins are the lifeblood of the economy. In these communities, where incomes are often earned on a daily basis and are very modest, life is lived 1 shilling at a time. The economy is not one of monthly salaries and credit cards, but of cash-in-hand transactions for immediate needs. A day's wage from casual labor might be paid in a handful of coins, which must then be carefully budgeted to cover food, water, and transport. The jingle of coins in a pocket is the sound of immediate possibility and security, however fleeting. The smallest coins facilitate the kidogo economy, a Swahili term meaning small. This is the practice of selling goods in tiny, affordable quantities. One cannot afford a whole loaf of bread, so they buy 2 slices. A full bottle of cooking oil is a luxury, so one buys just enough for a single meal, often poured into a small plastic bag for a few shillings. These microtransactions are fundamental. The 1 shilling, 5 shilling, and 10 shilling coins are used to buy single sticks of tea, a cup of beans, a small bundle of sukuma wiki, or to pay for a short ride on a boda boda. Without these coins, this entire ecosystem of survival would collapse. The social life of coins is also significant. They are the currency of generosity and community. A few shillings are given to a beggar on the street, dropped into a church collection plate, or used to contribute to a neighborhood fundraising effort for a funeral or medical emergency. In the bustling matatus, the process of collecting fares and giving change is a constant dance of hands and coins passing through the vehicle. The conductor's ability to quickly calculate and make change with a fistful of shillings is a remarkable skill born of necessity. Coins connect people in these small, everyday interactions, weaving the social and economic fabric of the community together. However, the relentless march of inflation has steadily eroded the power of these coins. The 50-cent coin, once useful, is now often refused by vendors or simply rounded up. As the December 2025 KHRC report highlighted, deep-seated economic inequality means that while a small elite deals in large sums, the majority of the population feels the sting of rising prices most acutely in their struggle to make their shillings stretch. The increasing dominance of mobile money platforms like M-Pesa offers an alternative, but transaction fees can be prohibitive for the smallest amounts, ensuring that physical coins remain indispensable for the poorest segments of society, a testament to their enduring, if diminished, importance. Comparing the small coins of Kenya with those of the United States reveals fascinating differences and surprising similarities in their economic roles and cultural symbolism. In the United States, the smallest denomination is the 1-cent coin, the penny. For decades, there has been a debate about discontinuing the penny, as its production cost exceeds its face value and its purchasing power is negligible. Many Americans view it as a nuisance. In stark contrast, Kenya's smallest practical coin, the 1 shilling piece, worth less than 1 United States cent, remains a vital component of the economy for a large portion of its population. This highlights the vast difference in the cost of living and the structure of the consumer economy in the two nations. The design philosophy of the coins also presents a study in contrasts. For most of its history, Kenyan coinage was deeply political, bearing the portrait of the sitting president. This practice tied the currency directly to the head of state, making it a tool of political identity and authority. The United States, on the other hand, has historically featured presidents on its coins, but these are figures from the past. Lincoln on the penny, Jefferson on the nickel. This posthumous honor is meant to celebrate foundational leaders and national history, rather than endorse current political power. Kenya's 2018 move to feature wildlife instead of any person represents a significant shift toward the American model of depoliticized, symbolic currency. Material composition tells another story. The United States penny has been made of copper-plated zinc since 1982, a change driven by the rising cost of copper. Similarly, Kenya has progressively moved from bronze and cupro-nickel to cheaper plated steel for its low-value coins due to economic pressures and inflation. Both countries have had to adapt their minting practices to economic realities. However, the introduction of bimetallic coins for higher values, like Kenya's 5, 10, and 20 shilling pieces, is a modern feature not seen in American circulating coinage, which has remained stylistically and materially conservative for many decades. Ultimately, the coins of both republics serve as a mirror to their societies. The American penny's potential demise reflects a high-cost, increasingly cashless society where tiny denominations have lost their utility. The endurance of Kenya's 1 shilling coin reflects a society with significant economic disparity, where a vibrant Kidogo economy depends on small change for survival. While American coins celebrate a settled history, Kenyan coins narrate a dynamic and evolving story, from colonial subjects to presidential portraits to symbols of natural heritage. They are a powerful testament to Kenya's journey and the ongoing challenges it faces in building a more equitable and unified nation, 1 shilling at a time.